Hi, this is the Business Guy. Just the other day, a guy called me and asked me a question. We'd set up an LLC for him for asset protection. It was a Nevis LLC, so the strongest LLC in the world. He asked me, okay, I just put a bank account in my LLC. Should I also put my cars and houses in there too? Now, I replied calmly, but my protective instincts wanted to leap inside. I felt like jumping up on my chair and shouting, "No!" to put some emphasis behind my answer. It's so important when protecting your assets that you separate your safe assets from your dangerous assets. There are several tools that we set up to help you do so, but first, it's important to understand the difference between the two. And if you appreciate this info, please click the like button below so YouTube promotes this video. Thanks so much. And you can also click the subscribe button below if you haven't already so that when more videos come out like this, you'll be up to date right away. So what is a safe asset? Safe assets are items that you own that are unlikely to cause lawsuits. These items are considered safe because they won't likely cause harm to others. Your bank account is an example of a safe asset, as are jewelry, artwork, gold, personal collections, intangible items such as stock and bond investments are also considered safe assets. These items are not going to smash into somebody's car. Nobody without the wildest of imagination is going to slip and fall on them. You're not going to fall out the second-story window of these items. They're not going to bite you, kick you, trip you, or anybody else. They're safe assets. Generally speaking, we can usually put safe assets into one legal tool, such as an LLC or an asset protection trust. So what is a dangerous asset? Now, as the name implies, dangerous assets are items that can be a danger to others. These include real estate, such as your home, rental properties and construction equipment. Vehicles such as cars and trucks are considered very dangerous assets. No matter how much insurance you have, someone can always sue you for more. There are also risks such as breach of contract, foreclosure, or divorce, for which you're on your own to protect yourself. Dangerous assets increase your personal and professional risk and liability, which make lawsuits more likely. For example, if someone is driving your car and the car is in your name, the injured party can sue both the driver and owner of the car. If you're the owner, watch out. Someone slips and falls on your rental property and breaks her noggin, take cover. The legal papers may show up at your door. Suppose an LLC owns that house. The LLC can act as a shield against that lawsuit. However, if that same LLC owns 4 houses, all 4 houses are at risk of seizure from that one lawsuit. As such, we often recommend that you own no more than one dangerous asset per company. Safe and dangerous assets don't mix. Those who mix safe assets, whether business or personal, with dangerous assets risk losing all of them in lawsuits. Let's say you or your business, which is a dangerous asset, physically or financially injures a customer. You and your business are at fault. As a result, they sue you for more than your insurance covers. That injured party may seek possession of all of the money in your bank account, a safe asset. By keeping your safe asset separate, you increase your protection when somebody sues you. So we set up one company for the safe assets, then we set up separate companies for each of the dangerous assets. Never the twain shall meet. Okay, so who needs asset protection? Every business, small and large, and nearly every person of means needs asset protection. Often people lack protection because they are unaware of the risks. What they don't know is that lawsuits can wipe out everything they own, both business and personal assets. The truth is that no person or company is immune from risk. If you fail to make payments on an asset, the creditors will come after you and take whatever they can get their hands on. If you have money or investment accounts mixed in with those dangerous assets, be prepared to kiss both of them goodbye. So by keeping your assets protected and knowing how to separate them, you can sleep like a baby. You can rest assured that when the ugly process server shows up at your door, you can continue to live in financial peace. Type of assets. So now that we've discussed what safe assets and dangerous assets are and why they need to be kept in separate entities, here are some vehicles to consider. First of all is a corporation. U.S. corporations are generally based on state law. Their shareholders own them. Shareholders receive shares of stock to represent their ownership. Shareholders have the power to elect a board of directors who will oversee the company as a whole. And the board of directors then chooses officers who will run the day-to-day operations of the company. Now, these officers include the president, treasurer, and secretary. Separate people may hold these roles, but in most cases, it's legal for one person to hold all roles. rules, corporations are considered good forms of legal protection because liability is limited. When established and operated properly, the shareholders are not liable in the event of business lawsuits. And this might include personal injuries, corporate debts, and as we said, breach of contract. The corporation as a whole may be responsible for any of these occurrences. However, in terms of seizing assets, creditors are limited to assets the corporation owns. The corporation can shield the personal assets of the shareholders, officers, and directors from a business lawsuit. That is why a corporation stands out from other forms of business ownership, such as a partnership or sole proprietorship. Limited liability company, LLC. While corporations are powerful vehicles for legal protection, many professional practices and small businesses choose limited liability companies or LLCs. LLCs work well as alternatives to sole proprietorships and partnerships due to the protections and tax advantages they offer. They are legal business entities, but they are not corporations. The rules governing LLCs vary from state to state, and as such, the protections they offer vary as well. For the most part, however, the LLCs separate business and personal assets. Like a corporation, an LLC can protect a business owner from lawsuits against the enterprise. While company assets may be at risk for seizure, the LLC can protect the personal ones. Now, some LLCs also have asset protection benefits. That is, let's suppose the lawsuit comes from the other direction. Rather than somebody suing your business, someone sues you personally. A properly structured LLC in the right jurisdiction can do two things. First, it can prevent your creditor from taking your LLC itself. Secondly, it can protect the assets the LLC owns from that personal attack. What this means is that the LLC protects you from losing the LLC itself. Say somebody sues you personally and you or your business associates own an LLC. The company itself and the assets therein are protected from seizure. If you and your spouse own an LLC that holds a rental property, for example, LLC statutes may prevent the judgment from taking the company or the rental house. Thus, the LLC can work well in protecting real estate and other high-risk assets. And that's because you won't be held liable if someone were to fall and injure themselves on one of your rental properties, for example. Plus, the LLC can keep assets safe from seizure in the event of a personal lawsuit. Therefore, properly structured LLCs can offer protection from lawsuits against your business or ones against you personally. However, suppose you own multiple dangerous assets such as rental properties. The best way to use an LLC is to have one for each property. So if you have 5 rental properties, you have 5 LLCs, one for each property. That way, if you have an issue with one property, your 4 other ones are not affected. Each are protected in its own individual LLC. And then in some aspects, professional LLCs where offered can also work well. These are set up for people such as medical professionals like physicians, dentists, and psychiatrists. Now, they cannot protect against malpractice suits. They can, however, protect these professionals against company debts. LLCs can also offer protection against claims brought about by employees, suppliers, and vendors. Medical professionals can also use LLCs to protect themselves by separating personal assets from business assets. Asset protection trusts. The strongest asset protection trusts in the world are in the Cook Islands in the South Pacific, Nevis in the Caribbean Sea, and Belize in Central America. The trusts in the aforementioned offshore jurisdictions are nearly impenetrable. Now, there are domestic asset protection trusts, for example, Nevada, Delaware, Wyoming, Alaska. However, the case law results are very poor for U.S. trusts. What we found is with the ever-expanding theories of legal liability, domestic trusts are repeatedly plundered. Now think about it. If you're sued in California, Florida, Texas, New York, do you truly think the judge is going to impose Nevada law? Of course not. He or she is going to impose the law of the state where you live, where your assets are located. Moreover, domestic assets have domestic trustees. If a domestic trustee has a choice between handing over his own assets for non-compliance or handing over yours, we all know what his choice will be. If the domestic trustee could face contempt charges and jail time for not turning over your assets, we are also keenly aware of his likely decision. Offshore trusts, however, do not have those inherent disadvantages. Our trustee law firm, as well as your assets, are beyond the reach of your friendly neighborhood judge. Domestic courts do not have jurisdiction over foreign trustees. Thus, court orders to the foreign trust company fall on deaf ears. In fact, our organization has established more Cook Islands trusts than any other organization in the world. And we know of no client of ours who has ever lost a dime due to litigation from one of our Cook Islands trusts. Moreover, Cook Islands is part of New Zealand, and New Zealand is listed by Transparency International as tied for the most trusted jurisdiction in the world. So the Offshore Trust, especially in the Cook Islands, has proven both safe and effective. Now, the tools we've discussed is not an exclusive list of the legal tools that we use to separate safe and dangerous assets. There are offshore corporations and offshore LLCs, limited partnerships, the triple LP, and many others we utilize to strengthen our clients' legal shields. Smart move. As we've discussed, keeping all of your assets together may be convenient, but it's not a smart legal move. Consider some of the options we talked about to protect yourself, your family, and your business for many years to come. As an entrepreneur, you've worked hard to obtain your assets. You may have hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions of dollars in assets. So don't let one wrong move let them slip away. Spend the time and the money up front to secure your assets into multiple legal vehicles. It's worth it in the long run. All it takes is one lawsuit to wipe out everything you've worked hard to achieve. Make the right choice. Not sure which vehicle is right for your business? Fill out a free consultation form at assetprotectionplanners.com to speak with one of our attorneys or consultants. Make an appointment to ensure that you and your business are able to move in the right direction for years to come. Take the time to discuss the various aspects of your business as well as the assets that you own. Our professionals can help you make the right choice for protection and peace of mind. You can also get recommendations about which vehicles to avoid, like a general partnership, which can actually do more harm than good if your goal is to protect your assets. As a business owner, you have a lot on your plate. With the right form of asset protection, you'll sleep a lot better knowing that you'll be protected in the event of a lawsuit or creditor judgment. Please click like, subscribe, and share this video. We'll see you next time. This is The Business Guy.